The Braxton farm in an early 1950s America summer. There is a barn, run down and weathered from money troubles and poor upkeep. A lone silo sits in the distance, casting a dark shadow across the arid landscape. The sun has just begun to rise and the fields are brown and dusty. James, dressed in ill-fitting clothing, tattered and torn shoes and hat, and soaked in sweat, is the laborer of the family.
Like my life's been bought. Yes, I work like a slave, but their son am I not.
And the farm maidens leave the stage. James is left alone, tending to the dry earth, as Robert, his father, calls in the distance as he comes on stage.
James, 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 where's that boy gone? James?
Yes, Father.
Where have you been?
James, thick in mud, arrives holding a small bouquet of partially dead, decaying flowers for his mother, Linda.
You know what? Don't explain. The animals grow restless. There's no feed in their lot. How I implore, have you spent this June day
distance away, tending to your crops and baling your hay.
Well, I heard you singing that song, the one about green pastures all year long, and I might be mistaken. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the reason your work is taking so long. Your tasks in the fields are work, not play. So don't forget the livestock, as you call it a day. That which you do now could have been finished in May.
Oh, what a blessing, oh, what a curse. Is it better to be just a farmer or to work myself into a hearse? It will be 19 years come this July that I began this life. No. More aptly a lie. Into this world I was thrown, naked and alone, by a father who knows no reprieve. How I do not feel at home. Still, perhaps it's not as bad as it seems, for it was never decreed that the living should be a dream. God bless the Braxtons for pushing my lot. Yet was it for love? Was it for love?
Disappointed, James goes out to continue his duties before dinner. Tommy, a character of the most robust nature and jolly intentions, enters with a swift movement, a smile, and dashing good looks.
James, are you about ready? We're gonna be late. You look like you've been rolling around in the mud.
I'm a farmer. I wear my job.
Very funny. The Keats down the road are having a fire. Are you coming or not? Everyone's going.
Do I have to? I don't need another reason to feel
Feel what?
empty, incomplete, like I don't belong. Something's missing. I don't know, but what's the point?
The point is you're covered in mud, and that's not how you should end your Friday night. Come on, we're almost graduated. We made it this far without being drafted. Think of it as a looky here, I'm still in the US of A celebration. You gotta loosen up a little. Take a chance.
Fine.
Fine. Think about your work so we can hit the road. A summer without leisure is too heavy a load.
I'm just about finished and then we can go. A drunken soiree is a welcome reprieve.
The car's still running, so don't dally too long. We need to buy liquor
So we can put it
where it belongs.
That sounds like a plan.
One of my best.
Just give me a moment to put the animals to rest.
As Tommy moves on, James begins to clear up his work area. Clumsily, he completes the last few remaining chores and wipes his hands on his clothes He walks through the living room in a rush. Tommy appears with a bag, a jacket, and some beer.
James, are you coming or not?
Give me a minute, will ya?
Well, hurry up then. Give the animals their feed, for into night's rocking drama. You've been cast as a lead, as a lead.
Entering the kitchen, James attempts to leave the house without questions from his father, who is sitting on the couch reading the daily paper. His mother, Linda, is preparing the evening meal.
Mom, Dad, I'm leaving.
Whoa, wait a second. Where are you off to in such a rush? Who said you could leave?
Going to the Keats for a fire, and I'm 19. I can handle myself.
You live under my roof by my wallet. It is I that will do the handling, James.
Everyone is going.
Robert, relax. He works day and night.
Who's everyone? It seems I've missed my invitation.
Friends. Tommy, Jackson, Mark, Drew, the new kid Benjamin, probably Lou, definitely Becky, Sally Mae, Elizabeth Rose, Mary Ann, and Sara.
Sarah Harper?
Yeah?
You stay away from her and those city kids, James. They're nothing but trouble. Especially that Sarah Harper.
Whatever you say, Robert.
We start tomorrow at 6. Remember? As always, as always, tomorrow, as always, forevermore. Till death's lusty grip must fill our grave. Fill it with life. Fill it till it's full.
Robert and Linda continue about their business after James leaves for the Keats. A door closes. Robert begins smoking a pipe and flipping through the newspaper. He is not an educated farmer and merely peers through the pages for pictures and headlines. He wants to have an informed opinion. Linda, tending to the stove, sighs. She weighs on the side of passive-aggressive solutions.
You're too hard on him, Robert.
Too hard on him? Too hard on him, Linda? When I was his age, I worked on my father's farm and at the town market. I stayed in school, got good grades. I had respect for the ideals of patriarchy. I understood my place. If I ever showed him lip,
He raises his hand and swiftly strikes through the air. He looks at Linda, and briefly they lock eyes. He returns to his paper and his pipe.
James is a good kid, Robert. I hate to break it to you, but you are not your father.
She kisses him on the cheek, but it's cold, a mere formality to dissipate the tension in the room.
Robert, things are different now.
we took in a harlot's orphan. What more different do you need? What happens when the town finds out we're harboring a bastard? The reputation of Mr. Harper would fall. We would never be welcomed within the city limits. The boy needs to know the truth.
Then forget about the past.
Forget about the past. I would if I could. How could I? It dines here every day. It wakes and bells our hay. It rises with the sun. It's made from flesh and bone. It smiles and it thinks. But don't forget, no, don't forget the chink in its armor. He's not from this home.
Forget forget the past.
The past lives in the present and weighs heavy on my mind.
Just try to forget.
The past lives in the present.
Yes, he dines here every day. Yes, he helps to bale our hay, and he rises with the sun. Robert, be thankful. Be thankful. We have him as our son. Please don't forget, he's our son.
Linda, don't you see a secret built this life? Linda, can't you see the cause of our strife?
To be honest, from where I stand, all I see is an angry grown man, acting foolish as children can be. Learn to let go, and you'll see that it
Won't go according to plan. But a little loss of memory never hurt a family, and a white lie never hurt our love. The past lives in the present and weighs heavy on my
past.
4 girls are murmuring in glee as they prepare for the outing at the Keats. Sara is dressed rather plainly as she begins to assemble her evening summer attire. Her hair is tied up with a simple white bow. Elizabeth and 2 friends, Lily and Bethany, sit on the edge of the bed and at the vanity, toying with Sara's possessions.
What do you girls think?
It's perfect. For Halloween.
She throws a hairbrush across the room and barely misses Lily's face. They squeal.
I'm being serious.
So am I.
She pushes Lily off the bed and growls.
Don't listen to her, Sara. You look stunning as always.
Why are you getting all dressed up for a farm party anyway? Only 2 of the city boys are going to be there.
She wants to look nice for the cows. Moo!
You mean the Warner boys?
All right, let's stop with the barn noises. You sound like a dying goat.
It's gotta be a boy.
It's always a boy.
This is no ordinary boy.
Shut up!
He's no ordinary boy. He's got poise, he's got charm, he's got grace. He's no ordinary boy. I can say, I can test, I confess. He's witty and smart, sly but not harsh, and truthfully better than 10 foot like a beast.
A farmer?
Sounds like a boring boy to me. Who do we know that's a farmer anyway?
James.
Well, he's no ordinary boy. He's a farmer, the lowest of class. Though he seems finesse, a part of the best. Though he charms when he talks, but he can't walk the walk. So Sarah, can we please end this test? He's no ordinary boy, we admit, 'cause he's nothing but trash. Elizabeth. Girls, now come on. You think you can just marry a man, no matter his standards you're set. If only you could perceive a man as more than his means. Look for extraordinary, strive for less mundane. You'd be surprised what you'd see.
Oh, they're here. Can he just wait 5 more minutes? I'm not quite ready.
She scuffles around, creating a larger mess than before.
I don't think 5 more minutes is going to help.
Oh, come off it. The party will be over before we even get there. Almost.
She puts on a rather ugly hairpiece.
Oh, hell no. Just give me 5 more minutes!
He's no ordinary boy. He's got poise, he's got charm, he's got grace. Yes, he's a farmer, though even a charmer. He might have the class to be part of our cast. Still, he's no ordinary boy. We can say, we can test, we confess.
The Keats is a pastoral setting at night. The boys have congregated away from the ladies, and the ladies are too busy snickering about outfits to pay attention to the boys. Neither Tommy, James, Elizabeth, nor Sara have arrived. There is a light swing tune playing in the background, but no one is dancing. The leader of the pack has yet to give the all clear. Tommy shows up with a bottle of whiskey in one arm and James in the other.
Well, look who it is, or rather who it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, guess who I brought? I've got Jack in one hand, I've got James by the shoulder, but if you want some of either, you have to move over.
The crowds part ways, having converged around Tommy.
Hey there, Tommy, how about a room? Think fast, there's one for you too.
So handsome and always a riot. And I've never
together.
Come on, man. Loosen up. One night with friends can kill a lifetime of happiness. Now, come on.
I'm not much of a dancer. It's fine, really. I'm more of a mover.
6 years. We've known each other, and that's your thing? We'll have to work on that. What was that last part? Yeah, that part will have to go. Now, come on. Get in there.
Tommy pushes James into the dancing ensemble. Couples begin to pair up, and by happenstance, James and Sara are quickly partnered together until being split up by a heavily inebriated classmate.
Hey, hey, ho!
After being split up as dancing partners, James tries to initiate conversation with Sara.
Oh. Hi. Yes, well, hello.
Hi, James. I think I'm gonna hurl.
You mean boo.
classmate returns and pushes them together. They kiss and immediately pull away from each other.
All right, James.
Sarah!
Elizabeth immediately seizes Sara away from James, and the rest of the girls leave the party in suit with scoffs.
What heifers?
You don't need to be rude, Tommy. I'm sure they wouldn't call you a cow.
Well, I'm not a Warner boy, am I? Great! Now that the fire's been successfully extinguished.
They're probably right. Honest, I was just trying to be her friend. I'm a farmer. She'd have had to pick a hit to ride on me.
Who are you?
I'm Ben. I just moved here last week, and
Well, this has been fun. Now shove off, Ben.
You know, if it's any consolation to your knight's prize, Sara came here to meet you tonight. She said you seemed funny and interesting, but mysterious, like she knew you already. I don't understand it. You seem like a jerk to me, but then again, what do I know? Just the new kid on the block from Denmark, defending a girl who doesn't know I exist.
Shove off. We're gonna have to work on your jokes. Come on, James. The Bieber twins don't know anything. You kissed Sarah Harper tonight. It'll be the talk of the town for a month, at least.
Oh, please no. My dad can't find out. Her dad can't find out. Look what happens. My palms are sweaty, my legs are shaking, I can't see straight, I'm going blind.
No woman has ever made a man go blind.
Well, how would you know? You're asleep half the time in classics.
Relax. Even if it was just a one-time deal, what's the worst that could happen? It's not like you're related or anything. Ew, that would be awkward.
Several mornings after, James and Sara are at the sycamore tree behind the Harper family ranch on the other side of town. There's a quaint picnic laid out, and there's an unequivocal awkwardness between the two.
So, hi. Well, yes, hello.
Calm down. We're just eating lunch. How long have we been in school together for now? 3, 4 years?
5.
Or 5. You know, this is nice, James. Being here without constantly worrying, am I being the someone everyone expects? You make me feel normal. As close to normal as I could be. You get it without me having to explain anything. Does that make sense?
You ramble.
James!
I never really had friends that made me feel normal. Sure, Tommy's great, but Tommy's a lot to handle. Did you see him last night?
Oh my gosh, and Elizabeth? I swear sometimes her head is in the clouds, but her legs are on the ground. There's a disconnect there. Too bad the insane asylum is like full of crazies because she would fit in perfectly.
You're too funny, Sara.
Sarah, where's that girl gone? Sarah!
I have to go, James. Dad doesn't approve of lateness or insecurity, but this was nice. You're nice.
Sounds like my father. Until next time.
Anytime. I'll always be at the sycamore tree. Bye, James.
Sara exits in a hurry, leaving behind the picnic. James quietly puts the food back into the basket and folds the blanket. He stows everything next to the trunk of the tree. He smiles and leaves. Having returned from his picnic with Sara, James is finishing his duties back at the Braxton farm. He rushes through everything haphazardly in anticipation of meeting Sara again before sunset.
The cattle are fed, they'll row no more. I cap another day, the same one as before. The details they might change, but never the form. Blue skies and green pastures forever cloaked in a storm. I feel that something is missing, be it friendship or love. I feel like a pigeon surrounded by dogs. She gives my life an entirely new meaning. How the thought of her sends my mind reeling and reeling. I can't help these feelings. Could this be love? Should I stop all these feelings? Nip them in the bud? What's the harm of a summertime happiness? What's the shame in a little bit of love? Who's to blame for fulfilling my emptiness? And what if we're the same? Sara and me, James. Minnesota in the summer, in these green pastures all year long.
He passes out on top of his bed. Dinner time that same night.
James seems awfully happy.
It's annoying.
Robert!
Linda! I never thought I would be a person to take away someone's happiness, but if it's because of that Sara Harper, you know what we have to do.
Nothing. There is nothing we have to do.
This is not a debate. This is not a drill. This nothing does not need to become a something. We need to stop it.
You.
What?
You need to stop it. I won't help you ruin something that exists perfectly without you.
Fine. I'll stop.
The boy has so few friends. I've never seen him smile like that before, with his teeth, with his eyebrows raised, with his dimple crooked and to the right. He's happy, Robert. Let him be happy.
He's not your boy, Linda. He's the orphan of the town harlot.
And she's dead and I raised him. He's my boy, Robert.
Imagine when someone finds out. What would we do? The talk of the town. You can't stop that.
Robert, if they find out, if they talk, if! Who are you to decide someone's life? Who gave you that authority? Some higher power gave you that duty, Robert? Please, tell me.
James appears whistling Minnesota in the Summer as he grabs a couple lunch items from the Braxton kitchen. He's looking for his watch and boots.
James, my darling boy, why don't you sit down for dinner? I'll make you anything you like. Steak and eggs, fried chicken, chicken fried steak, country fried chicken steak.
Is that a thing?
He finds his watch and realizes he's going to be late.
I can't. I'm meeting someone for lunch today at the parlor, and I'm already 10 minutes late.
James, we need to talk.
Have you seen my boots anywhere? The not holy ones. I swore I left them by the door after I got back from the bar this morning.
We need to talk.
I think you left them in the living room, honey.
James moves around the room, ignoring his father and searching for the boots. Robert stands and begins to delve into a conversation that relays the family secret. James immediately stops. Linda, ashamed and uncertain, slowly moves away.
I was speaking with Mr. Harper. James, please sit down. He spoke the truth. He spoke it in earnest. He told me about how you and his daughter were spending that night idling before the furnace.
She's just a friend.
James, your mother and I understand your confusion, and what we will tell you will be an unwelcome intrusion. But James, you must understand, Sarah's not just a friend. You must see her no more, and that's our command.
I don't understand. Surely this cannot be. I've done everything I know correctly. Can this man let a farmer boy be? No. Since my hair's too unkempt and my wallet's too light, yes, my language is coarse, but my future is bright. Please tell all the true reasons keeping Sarah from me tonight.
This conversation has long plagued your father and I. We were young and confused, afraid of our fading youth, having a farm and no children to tend it, meant we'd never rest till we'd descended.
Linda, let me.
It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Look, this is about that kiss that happened by accident. Jack was really drunk and he just pushed us together.
Kissed!
It wasn't planned.
Linda,
It won't happen
I
again.
told
Sit
you!
down, both of you, now.
There was a woman down the road, sure that LETO was her name. She fell ill in the cold and the snow, played an unforgiving game. Then in the middle of the night, I heard two cries from fright, and I rushed, Robert, yes, I rushed into the town, caught by some innocent spell, where I've had and your sister too.
I had a sister?
It's not that simple, James. Yes, she had a sister, but...
What's her name? What happened to her? Is she still alive? Did you just leave her outside in the snow? Is she alive?
Forget the past.
Yes, she is alive.
This explains all the emptiness all these years. It's because she was missing. She. Who is she? What's her name? Where is she? Dad, tell me who my sister is. Tell me. Tell me, Dad!
Sarah Harper, James, okay, Sarah.
She gives my life an entirely new meaning. How the thought of her sends my mind reeling and reeling. What's the harm of a little bit of happiness? A little bit of happiness for a father's son. People will talk, that's nothing new. What do they know? They are there, news for news.
We've heard and confused, we'd have
Past lives in the present, life is heavy.
They'll say that's not natural, that something can't be right. They'll say that's not natural.
James, you must understand, Sarah's not just a friend. You must see her no more. Mr. Harper and I agree that cannot be together as brother and sister, or by any other. Yes, that's where we stand.
James, filled with emotion, hurriedly breaks away. Robert, stern and bleak, shows no signs of empathy, love, or maternal remorse. There is no forgiveness, in fact.
I never knew I married such a fool.
The secret, so intertwined in the life of the Braxton family, begins to unravel from its hinges and tear the family apart. With this knowledge in hand, that James and Sara are siblings torn apart at birth, James contemplates the past few days and feelings he's encountered. Away from his parents and locked in his room, there is little light and few possessions James would rightly call his own. Opposite his contemplation, and unbeknownst to tales of deceit created by a pact between her father and Robert Braxton, Sara sets up a picnic under a sycamore tree. She waits for James. Time is passing. 1 week, 2 weeks.
God bless the Braxtons for pushing my lot. But was it for love or labor? It was for labor that they sought. Of love and laughter, but age comes and breaks down the tale of prince and pauper, and you wonder why they say them, telling lies of truths forsaken. But if you lived that lie, can you ever try to dispel the tale? Sara, I've never felt this way before. I've had so many questions all my life, and I know you're the answer. I know you're the answer.
So what next?
And you wonder why they say them, telling lies of truth forsaken, and for what they got. Was it worth the shot at a family life? Held by memories of a trying time, for the life that I wanted, I could have if I tried to tell Sara
You know, they think we're falling in love.
I know. But aren't we? Kind of love, right? Can I love if I've never truly known thee? What is love in this life of one and only. Should I love or should I lose? They are them. You are you.
Until next time.
Anytime.
Sara, having continually come to the sycamore tree in hopes of seeing James, finally realizes that he will not be coming. She sits there quietly. She too has never felt quite whole. Her times with James felt right. There was no stronger feeling in love or friendship.
He'll be here. Just wait. He said he'd be here. It's been 3 weeks now since I've been in your presence. Have I offended him? Has he grown tired of me? How I miss our afternoons under the sycamore tree, talking of this, laughing of that. Would he not tell me if something were wrong? Would he not tell me if something were amiss? He completes me in a way that friends rarely do. I pray relate the circumstance that keeps me from you. These summer days bereft of pleasure. How was I to know our recent meeting would be our last? If only you knew how I crave our days together. Now long since they've passed.
She begins to pack up the picnic she set out for James and herself. The sun is beginning to set, and it is clear she waited long overdue for James to show. She believes in the good intentions of people and the right of society. Love tells her that her duty is to wait and see.
Under the sycamore tree, talking of this, laughing of that. Look at me here alone again, falling with no one to catch me. Only you understood how the life that I have is a life I have never wanted. You were mysterious in your silence. You were tragic in your stance. not to leave unannounced is an act too infernal. From this moment to bear, and sometimes I wonder if you simply don't care. Oh, James, I hope my thoughts make it to you. The prayers of a girl whose love is true. It's been 3 weeks now. How I miss our afternoons.
Some years later, Sara has moved on from her brief encounter with her estranged brother James and married a fellow classmate, Benjamin Romijn, a high society business owner. Though she's precariously taken on the role of housewife, Sara seems restless and uncertain of her future. Their relationship, as marriage often does, has reached a strain. Benjamin is never quite home long enough for Sara to feel loved. Sara is never entirely understanding of the demands of owning a profitable business. And, of course, Benjamin is never at work quite long enough to feel secure about the economy of their lifestyle. Now, several months after the honeymoon, the workday has been long for both Sara and Benjamin. Benjamin arrives home from work, dinner is prepared, the mail is laid on the kitchen table, and Sara, though pleasant, has some dirty laundry that needs to be aired out before nightfall. Ben sighs as he sets his briefcase down and continues the work he brought home. His personality isn't exactly abundant with emotion, nor is he entirely callous.
Ben, it's a Friday night. Put the files away and relax. Enjoy tonight, the weather, your wife. Hello, Ben.
Yeah, right, enjoy. By supply and demand with the right investment, watch the dividends.
He scratches a few numbers down. There's a deep silence in the room. He glances up.
Work in the city, stay in the city, be in the city. You might as well sleep in the city.
Sarah.
I need a vacation. I need to get away from this.
She points to the briefcase.
From that, from your work, we need to get away. You and I, together. Wherever you choose to go, I will follow you. Unless it's a business trip. I'd rather not follow you on a business trip.
Darling, I will take you to the heart of a continent, and we'll stroll amid leaning gables.
How romantic, Ben.
In the fields of tulips our hearts will drown. In the fields of splendor we'll find romance abound. And I will follow you till death do us part. No rift between us, no end to our start. And in time you'll see that the place I will be is right here. Never fear, I will follow you.
Now, don't you take me to see just the newest buildings and the tallest towers. I want to see the smallest parts of Europe. The art galleries, the pastry houses, the wineries. Everything Minnesota doesn't have, I want to see that.
I think I can handle that. As long as we don't see cows in overalls, we've done pretty good, Sarah.
Benjamin Daniel?
I married the most beautiful girl in all of Minnesota. It's time the world knew that too. Sarah, I will show you where the mountains touch the moonlit sky, where Van Gogh found his starry night in my city of angels. There's a God.
And I two hearts on the run. Yes, you and I finding love under the sun.
I will follow you till death do us part. No rift between us, no end to our start. And in time you'll see that the place I will be is right here. Never fear, I will follow you. Yes, I will follow you.
Overwhelmed by a new promise of what seems like a new beginning of romance, love, and family, Sarah races off into the couple's bedroom. It may or may not be that Sarah's hoped for a trip abroad, and she returns in a change of clothes. Her hair, once up in a ponytail, has been let down in full length. She's exchanged her kitchen apron and farmer's frock for a summer dress fit for traveling the streets of Paris, Manchester, and Florence.
If we're going to travel all the way to Europe, we really should see Paris while we're in the neighborhood. Oh, Paris! I've always wanted to see the Louvre and that petite picturesque lady. What was her name? Mona Lisa? No, that's not it.
It's a good thing you're cute.
Mona Lisa! See, got it.
Sarah, I was expecting a letter to be mailed here by today from a client, Mr. Johnson. Is there anything addressed to me?
She begins to walk away from the kitchen.
I brought the mail in but didn't look.
On the table?
On the table.
A small stack of letters is set. Ben, having previously left the majority of his files there, begins to shuffle through the papers. His eyes catch a small notice from the army, and he begins to ruffle through the letters faster. Papers fly, and finally Ben is holding the draft notice. It is quiet. He breathes deeply. Sara returns again in a honeymoon phase. She's carrying several dresses and has changed her shoes in anticipation of Parisian countryside fashion.
Okay, so I know we haven't set dates or anything, but I've been saving these dresses for a special occasion, and what's more special than Paris? Nothing! Anyway, I've picked out the shoes. These will go with anything. So, which dress, Ben? Is everything okay?
He holds up a letter.
Oh, so you found it.
From the army.
Come again?
He reads the selective service system, ordered
Greetings.
to report for induction.
You are hereby ordered for induction into the armed forces of the United States and to report at lobby of the U.S. Post Office, Chatfield, Minnesota, on June 22nd, 1969 at 6:30 a.m. for forwarding to an armed forces induction station. Signed M. Hawks, member or clerk of the local board.
There must be a way out. Burn the card, we never got it.
Sarah.
We'll move to Europe? I will follow you. Think how romantic, lost in our own kind of wilderness. There must be a way out. Burn the card. We never got it.
Darling, I will take you when I'm back from this hell someday.
Ben, stop. Don't go. I won't let you. Love does not sacrifice to some conscripted duty.
And I will follow you till death do us part.
Nothing is perfect, Ben.
No rift between us, no end.
The end would be your death.
Our start, and in time you'll see that the place I will be is right here.
This is no time for romantic gimmicks.
I will follow you.
Stop it. Just stop.
Gimmicks are a tactic of marketing. You have to look at it logistically and realize.
Logistically? This is not a business deal. It's a farce. This whole war is a farce. It's just a game. They're playing games. The same damn game schoolboys pretend to fight. Now look what they've done. They've turned imagination into reality. They're killing boys who can't hide from the very thing they fear.
Sarah, do you love me?
There are children without mothers fighting for mothers without children because of a pissing match in the 10th grade?
Sarah, do you love me?
What kind of stupid question is that? Of course I do.
Then listen to me. I'm going to do this. It's my duty to do this, to fight for our love, to save our love. Conscription isn't a death sentence. It's a chance to prove that I can do something for the life we've been given. For us, Sarah. For you.
What'll happen if you die? What'll happen if you're lost? I can't stand the idea of being alone again. I will not be left alone in a world I do not understand.
Sara backs out quickly as Ben stands alone in the kitchen. We hear a door slam in the darkness, and Ben begins to break down. The U.S. military has issued notices for the entire town. In a transition, we hear other couples dealing with the gravity of a soon-to-be permanent separation. Lights fade up on a barbershop quartet assembled for the town's send-off. It remains dark, as if no one seems to care if there's a celebration. Slowly, families arrive to send off their children, husbands, and fathers. They remain smiling, a contrived happy, to give the men they need the courage they lack. This is the story of their deaths.
Well, the time has come to say goodbye, to say farewell with idle eyes. For our flag and our country we send boys to become men. But if they come back, they don't always come back. We think often they might as well have been dead. For our flag and our country, for our flag and our country, our country. For our flag and our country, for the maids in arms, for the battle we wage from home. Let the families sow their woes when the fathers don't come home. Let the wives cry another day.
As the farewells continue at the town's post office, we find ourselves back at the Braxton family farm. As all men eligible have received their notice, Robert has kept James' draft card a secret, having brought the mail in each day since rumors of the conscription. With James coming back from the fields, Robert is quick to pack his son's belongings and send him away. He is caught off guard when Linda enters the room.
Robert, behind your back, what is that?
Nothing, Linda.
Well, your nothing seems like something.
Her eyes catch a piece of paper held behind Robert's back.
Now, don't play me stupid, Robert. I'm your wife, not some schoolgirl.
She lunges at her husband and snatches the draft notice away. She is silent for several moments.
How long have you had this?
Robert is quiet. He sits and stares low at the ground.
I asked you a question.
3 weeks.
This is how you think you can solve problems? With childish ploys and deceit? Is nothing ever good enough for you, Robert? Is this life not good enough for you?
Linda's voice begins to escalate, and James, now returning from the fields, overhears and rushes into the house.
What kind of man keeps a notice from his son? What kind of monster keeps a secret from his wife? Who are you? Who did I marry? What kind of fool do you take me for? Any other secrets that you'd like to explore? Any other facts that you'd fail to realize? He's your son, our son. And I am not done.
Quietly, James moves into the room. Robert sees his son, and they lock eyes before he interrupts Linda.
Mom, I knew.
What do you mean you knew?
Would it make sense that everyone else in the country was called but not a farmer's son? If anything, I'd be the first one shipped out, not the last.
James.
Let's be honest here, Dad. If you loved me as your son, then you would love me as such, but I am a labor to you. I am labor to you, and that draft notice in your hand and the bag you packed, it's all just a consolation prize for raising an orphan. I need to leave now if I'm going to make roll call.
Wait. Well, if we're truth-telling, let me tell you my secret, Robert.
Mom, it's okay. Duty is as duty does. There's no room for love.
Exactly. I stopped loving you years ago. I stayed because my duty as a mother is to love my family, and I tried. But I've lost you, so I'll keep loving my son as any good mother would do. How's that for a secret, Robert?
The town would have seen us if they knew we harbored a child from that harlot. I did that to save us, Linda. A secret saved us.
James saved us. For better or for worse, and for worse you seem quite keen.
For our flag and our country, they'll take boys from their home and send them away to die. So who do we blame? The house on the hill and the women who never asked them to stay.
Quickly, we're moved to a base camp for the men enlisted. Now in uniform and packed to be shipped off to a remote location, we see Ben, James, Tommy, and several other men receiving orders from their commanding officer. Through mimed action, we watch as the commanding officer gives directions and information on the comings of the war. The men are attentive but distracted by the likelihood of their imminent death. As the commanding officer finishes his remarks, the men salute and grab their bags. A plane flies by. They've arrived in a foreign land. In a rupture of flashing lights, gunfire, falling bombs, and screams of men maimed by bullets and hand-to-hand combat, we slowly see each man slain, highlighted by a flash of bright light and a slow fall. Finally, there is silence. A calm before the storm. James and Ben are left together, stuck behind a tree as a brigade of enemies pursue. There is a patter of a language not understood, a beat of silence, and then an explosion. Ben, James, and the men of Minnesota summer are dead. Back at the Romijn house, Sara and Elizabeth are packing up some final belongings before Sara is to move in with Elizabeth. Both are now widows of the war, and remarrying was not a favorite option for either of them. They were both told of their husband's death, but in entirely different ways, and as Elizabeth picks up a photo of Romijn Harper wedding day, Sara shares an opinion.
Are you really sure you want to sell this house? It's not the same without Ben. It's empty. I walk in, I turn the lights on, and all I see is everything I don't have anymore. I can't live like that.
Living on memories is a hard thing to do.
Nobody wants to live on memories. Nobody. But there isn't much in the present to keep the lights on, Elizabeth. I'm alone, again. No love, no life.
What about the love you had?
It's not enough. It's just not enough. I'm not saying I didn't love him. I'm just saying, I don't know. I never wanted to leave him, but I never felt like him being there was what I needed when he was there. I loved Ben. I always have. I know he loved me back. Living in this house would be a constant reminder that I failed to keep him safe. I broke a vow, Liz. That's us being people. We make promises we can't keep. We live our whole lives trying to do good by words we said when we were too young to understand what they meant. We're supposed to love. We go our whole life surrounded by it. It's conditioned. So, yes, I loved Ben.
That was not very reassuring.
Sara goes no further in the conversation and begins to pack up the remaining items left in the living room. Some books, figurines, blankets, and several pillows. She stops at another Romijn Harper wedding photo.
Ben is such a handsome man, Sara. You caught the catch.
Ben was a handsome man. Now his body is somewhere lost amongst trees and carnage. Who knows? Maybe it's better to be lost than found. You're lucky, really, to have them find Jack. At least you could say goodbye.
Sure. Lucky. If there's such a thing as luck.
Liz, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. It's just that you've had...
I get it. I do. I went through it with Jack. And then they send you a letter and you have to relive the whole thing again. It's much easier to handle with paper than some young man trying to console you when he hasn't lost his world. Did you ever get Ben's letter?
Letter?
The men in the army always write a letter home to their loved ones, especially when they fear they may never be able to see them again.
No. No one came to tell me anything. No updates. They just sent a notice saying his file had been changed from MIA to deceased.
I guess these things happen. We'd be kidding ourselves if we ever thought life would be a breeze.
Things don't just happen, Elizabeth. Not like this. Ben didn't have to go. There's Europe, South America, Canada. Elizabeth, Canada. Is duty to one's country more important than one's wife? To have everything you were told you could have, then lose it? Have it thrown away because of a game old men want to play overseas?
Sara.
What?
I suppose sometimes it is.
Elizabeth continues to help pack up Sara's belongings when there's a knock at the door. A young postal boy stands nervously. This is his first time on his first job running the mail alone, and he's anxious to deliver some delayed letters. He is shaking. Sara answers the door.
I can't imagine who that'd be at sundown. Well, hello, Ronnie. You know you could just leave the mail in the mailbox. It'd save you a couple minutes.
Hi, Miss Sara. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure you got these before you moved, especially on the count that they're late and from the U.S. military.
The postal boy pulls out 2 letters addressed to Sara. Both are stamped with a seal. There is a letter from Benjamin, her husband, and a letter from James, her brother. Elizabeth, realizing that Sara's just received at least Benjamin's final letter, rushes to the front door to dismiss the boy.
I'll take it from here, darling, but thank you for making sure we got them.
One day, when I'm older, I want to be part of something special, like the military, protecting and serving, making my mother proud.
I want you to promise me something, Ronnie, okay?
Yes, Miss Sara?
You promise me you won't ever do what you just said. Promise me you'll find someone that understands you, that'll dance without caring who watches, that looks at you and smiles just because. And when you find that someone, Ronnie, look at me.
Yes, Miss Sarah?
When you find that someone, don't ever let them go, no matter what.
How will I know when I found them?
One day, when you're older, your whole world will seem only half filled. It'll just happen. That I can't explain. It's not sad, it's not happy. It just is. You're here and there, and everything just stays. You'll wake up and do everything the same, different, it doesn't matter. But that person, well, they'll make everything seem right. You do right by her, Ronnie. You respect, you marry, you love the best way you know how. And you don't ever leave them. Not for anything.
All right, Miss Sarah, I promise. But I don't see the problem with...
There are better ways to show love than to die trying. Now hurry home before your mother gets any more worried than she already is.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Ronnie departs quickly, almost with a skip. Sara leans against the front door and smiles. She wishes she had had the chance to start a family, to protect and love, to make her only duty her children and husband.
Who were you talking about, Sarah?
What?
I'm not stupid, and you never grew up to hide secrets or tell white lies very well. I knew Ben, and I know you, and I know that's not what you two had. Now, who were you talking about?
Someone a long time ago from our days in school. It wasn't anything more than just being together. I don't know what it was, but that I could lose and spend my whole life trying to find again, and it would seem normal. When you don't have to explain why or what, even how, you just are, being.
I wish I knew what you meant, Sarah. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't lost. Whatever it was you were trying to find, maybe you had it the whole time, but you forgot to let yourself be found. Maybe you'd forgotten somehow that in everything we do, we must stand our ground. To love who we are, no wishing on a star. And the men that we married must stay in our hearts. Yes, maybe you'd forgotten someday. In this life that we live, we must always pray to feel needed and wanted by someone we love. A husband, a father, a brother to feel home. So maybe you've forgotten for reasons unexplained, but know you're stuck with memories. Forgetting's not the same. Yes, maybe you've forgotten, but look what remains.
As Elizabeth withdraws from the Romijn household, Sara runs her hands along the envelope and starts to tear up. As she opens Benjamin's letter, a second falls to the floor, and she quickly rushes to pick it up. James has written to her, and it's a name she hasn't forgotten, but never thought she'd have to bear the pain of losing again. She's confused as to which letter to read first. She chooses the one from James. As she opens the letter, the stage goes black,
and only light on Sara and the outline of James are visible. Slowly, as the scene progresses, the light brightens, and we see James in uniform holding the same letter. Opposite them, a light begins to illuminate Benjamin, and we hear them read the words they meant to tell Sara, the sister, and Sara, the wife.
Dearest Sara, I must apologize first for being absent. I left without warning or thought of errors in my way and how I miss our afternoons. It would be unwise of me to write this and not tell how my life has been without you. Rotten pain, loneliness, longing, and worry. Sara, I am sorry. I would ask for your forgiveness, that somehow you find a way to remember me as good and kind, but I am afraid I am not writing with the best of intentions. My love for you means that I am bound to die for a secret I can no longer keep. Sara, my darling, my friend, read these words as my amends to never knowing the boy who somehow destroyed the friendship he almost had. I am sorry that I was weak, did not know how to tell you the secret our families keep. Oh, God bless the Braxtons for choosing this lot. Here's the tale that they told, now spun out of control. It makes sense when we truly see it. We tried to escape from a void when we failed to fill it. Here's the answer to our lives. No more questions, no more hiding from this truth. Sara, Harper. Oh, Sara, Harper. You're my sister.
Oh no, James, this isn't so. Alive, not living, left unknown. What good is a man who's gone? What good is a brother who's not been around? What good am I if I've always lived a lie? Forced by duty, not out of love. It's a plight that I have. Toss a coin, see how it lands, and that's my fate. The chance I'd wait for life's debate. Choose duty or love.
Lights shift as Sara sets down the letter from James and begins reading the letter from Benjamin. Though short and dry, there is pain in his shortcomings. Sara follows.
Sara, if you are reading this, then I fail to be fast enough, smart enough, or lucky enough. There are secrets about this war that they don't tell you when you're drafted. The screams of the innocent or the constant fear of never seeing the sunrise. I was weak. Writing this means I am no longer here, but there are things I still have left to say. Sara, you are the love of my life. I know I did not show it well, and that I analyzed more than I wondered and just was. I had so much fun falling in love with you every day. Though I am gone because of a mistake I thought was the answer. No, I am there by your side. Know that I always had intended to try to come home to you. Oh, duty cannot subdue the life I had wished to have with you. I fathomed to see how our future could be. Now I'm lost in this country's disaster. If I could redo choosing duty or you, I choose to honor my vows of marriage. Isn't that the same thing, the duty to be in love? Yes, if I could redo choosing duty or you, I choose to stay in place. Could a duty to love have been my saving grace?
Look at me here alone again, falling with no one to catch me. There is nothing, no future I see. Life just passes, people turn to ashes, and so it goes. Don't they know that duty and love are like a dove taking flight? You need one for the other, just like sister and brother, or husband and wife. And the words that they wrote gives me hope that someday I will learn to forgive as they say.
There is love in absence, there is love in death. There is love to wipe away the tears you've wept. And I know when secrets can destroy what's left. But please don't hate the boy you never met. There is love in absence, there is love in death. There is love to wipe away the tears you've wept. And I know when secrets can destroy what's left. But please don't hate the boy you never met. There is love in absence, there is love
in, and for